517 710 3783.
3783.
3783. I'm going to say this, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So avoid the, if you want to avoid the traffic, manage the...
That I'm best at. वही तो कह रहा हूँ
क्या हुआ
इस महाभारत में तो दूंगी
ये चाचे लोग धीरे बोलो आइए
Hare Krishna, Gauranga.
Gauranga.
Ще пише след малко, че сега трябва да дам лекция. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, we are going to read few verses with few purpose today, just to catch up with our schedule. We will start from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 13, Text 5, and we will go to Text 8. So we can repeat together Text 5, and then after that I will read the rest of the verses. Shri Shuka Vacha Iti Bruvanam Viduram Vinitam Iti Bruvanam Viduram Vinitam Sahasra Shirshnas Charanopadanam Sahasra Shirshnas Charanopadanam Prahrishtaroma Bhagavat Katayam Prahrishtaroma Bhagavat Katayam Praniyamano Munir Abhyachashta Praniyamano Munir Abhyachashta Iti Bruvanam Viduram Vinitam Sahasra Shirnash Charanopadanam Prahrishtaroma Bhagavat Katayam Praniyamano Munir Abhyachashta. Shishuka Vacha Iti Bruvanam Viduram Vinitam Sahasrashirshnascharanopadanam Prakrishtaro ma bhagavat katayam Praniyamano munirabhyachashta Shishukavacha Iti bruvadam viduram vinitam Sahasrashirshnascharanopadanam Prakrishtaro ma bhagavat katayam Praniyamano munirabhyachashta Shishukavacha Iti bruvanam viduram vinitam Sahasrashirshnascharanopadanam Prarishtaro ma bhagavat katayam Praniyamano munirabhyachashta Shishukavacha Shishukavacha Iti bruvanam viduram vinitam Sahasrashirshnascharanopadanam Prahrastaro ma bhagavat katayam Praniyamano munirabhyachashtam Shishukavacha Shishukadeva Goswami said, Iti, this, Bruvanam, speaking, Viduram, unto Vidura, Vinitam, very gentle, Sahasrashirshna, the personality of Godhead, Krishna, Charana, lotus feet, Upadanam, pillow, Prahrishtaroma, hair standing in ecstasy, Bhagavat, in relationship with the personality of Godhead, Katayam, in the words, Pranyamana, being influenced by such spirit, Muni, the sage, Abhyachashta, attempt to speak. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, was pleased to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura because Vidura was very meek and gentle. The sage Maitreya was very pleased with Vidura's words, and being influenced by his spirit, he attempted to speak. Purport. The word Sahasra Shirshna is very significant. One who has diverse energies and activities and a wonderful brain is known as the Sahasra Shirshna. This qualification is applicable only to the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and no one else. The personality of Godhead was pleased to dine sometimes with Vidura at his home, and while resting he placed his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura. Maitreya was inspired by the thought of Vidura's wonderful fortune. The hairs of his body stood on end, and he was pleased to narrate the topics of the personality of Godhead with great delight. Then we will read the next verses also. Text 6, Maitreya Vacha, Yada Svabharyaya Sardam, Jata Svayam Bhuvo Manu, Pranjali Pranataschedam, Vedagarbam Abhasata. The sage Maitreya said to Vidura, after his appearance, Manu, the father of mankind, along with his wife, thus addressed the reservoir of Vedic wisdom, Brahma, with obeisances and folded hands. Text 7. Tvam eka sarvabhutanam janmakrit vrittida pita tatapi na prajanam te shushusha kena va bhavet. You are the father of all living entities. Swayambhuva Manu is praying now. You are the father, he's praying to Brahma. You are the father of all living entities and the source of their subsistence because they are all born of you. Please order us how we may be able to render service unto you. A son's duty is not only to make the father the source of supply for all his needs, but also, when he is grown up, to render service unto him. That is the law of creation beginning from the time of Brahma. A father's duty is to bring up the son until he is grown, and when the son is grown up, it is his duty to render service unto the father. Text 8. Tad videki namastubhyam karmasu idyatma saktishu yat kritveha yasho visvak amutra cha bhavet gathi. O worshipful one, please give us your directions for the execution of duty within our working capacity, so that we can follow it for we can follow it for fame in this life and progress in the next. Purport. Brahma is the direct recipient of Vedic knowledge from the personality of Godhead, and anyone discharging his entrusted duties in disciplic succession from Brahma is sure to gain fame in this life and salvation in the next. The disciplic succession from Brahma is called the Brahma Sampradaya, and it descends as follows: Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Madhva Muni, Purna Pragya, another name of Madhva Muni, Padmanabha, Nrihari, Madhava, Akshobhya, Jayatirtha, Janasindhu, Dayanidhi, Vidyanidhi, Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purushottama, Brahmanya Tirtha, Vyasa Tirtha, Lakshmi Pati, Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar, and Shri Rupa Goswami, and others. Shri Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishna Das Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti, Jagannath Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, Shri Srimat Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. This line of disciplic succession from Brahma is spiritual, whereas the genealogical succession from Manu is material, but both are on the progressive march towards the same goal of Krishna consciousness. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming on Bhagavatam class. It is very important, devotees, to start their day with some spiritual kata, shabda, spiritual sound, because in this way they'll be able during the day to contemplate on something spiritual. Otherwise their mind anyway has to contemplate on something and it may not be spiritual. But if we start our day with spiritual impressions, with seeing the deities, with chanting Hare Krishna, with hearing Krishna Katha, then during the day, automatically again and again, our mind will be going back to these spiritual memories, spiritual samskars. So that's why it's important that we try to discuss something connected with Krishna. Krishna Katha. So, here the main topic is appearance of Varahadev, and yesterday Chandrasekhar Maharaj, he kind of introduced the topic, and he mentioned briefly that we know about two different appearances of Varahadev. One is during the range of, it's in the beginning of the day of Brahma, and the other one is in the middle of the day of Brahma. So there is quite a big gap between them. One Manu is ruling the world for 71 or 72 cycles of the 4 yugas. So between these two appearances there is big difference. Still, because Varahadev is appearing in this day of Brahma, that's why the day of Brahma is known as, how it's called this day of Brahma? Varahakalpa, yes. Why? Because Varahadev appears in this day of Brahma. So that's the main topic, but we have other topics which are leading to this topic, and of course we have basically the conversation between Vidura and Maitreya, and the topic comes up about Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu is special personality. He is one of the 12 Mahajanas described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balir Vayasakir Vayam. These are the 12 authorities that really know and understand the religious principles in this universe. Others may know them, may not know them, but these 12, they know them. So who are these 12? Swayambhu is which Manu? There are 14. Swayambhu. Yes. No, not the present. The first one. Swayambhu. Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhu, Narada. Swayambhu means Brahma. Excuse me. Swayambhu means self-born. So Brahma. Swayambhu, Narada. Narada is Narada Muni. Shambhu is Shiva. Kumaro, yes. Kapilo, yes. Kapila, Devahuti Kapila, Kardami Kapila. Kumaro, Kapilo, Manu. So Manu means Swayambhuva Manu. Prahlado, Janako, the father of Sita, who was a king, apparently a materialistic person, but actually he was extremely exalted personality. So he is one of the 12 Mahajans. Prahlado, Janako, Bhishmo, Bhishmadev, Balir, Bali Maharaj, the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Yes. Balir, Vyasakir. Who is Vyasakir? Vyasakir. Which great personality from the pages of Bhagavatam has connection with Vyasadeva? Shukadeva Goswami, correct. That's why he is known as Vyasaki, the son of Vyasadeva. And Vayam. Who is Vayam? Yamaraj. Yes. So this verse is spoken by Yamaraj, and Yamaraj is saying, these 11, they know the religious principles, and me also. It's very interesting, because sometimes we may think, oh, why he's so proud to say that he knows. But no, that's the reality, so it should be stated. The same thing we read in the last purport. Srila Prabhupada is saying, so this is the disciplic succession, and he's giving all these names, and the last representative of the disciplic succession, he is saying, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. And who is writing the purport? A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. But he has to say, so that there is no confusion. It's not a question of pride, it's a question of saying the things as they are, stating the facts. So yes, these personalities, they know religious principles, and their duty is they have to explain to the living entities in the universe what they have to do, what is their work, what is the proper way of life for human beings. This is their job. They have to very clearly define these things. And now we see here Swayambhava Manu as being someone who has to define the duties of the living entities. First he has to understand them properly from authority, from Brahma. So he is humbly offering obeisances to Brahma, and he is saying, please explain to us what are our duties, so that we can after that describe them properly. In the spiritual life we cannot just imagine that the reality is this or reality is that. We have to take the knowledge as it is coming from Guru Parampara. Otherwise, deviation will come gradually with the time. Like very often if you go, and a few times it happened to me after a lecture of Jayadvaita Swami, I was going and telling him, Maharaj, great class, thank you very much. And his answer is always, I just try to say something bona fide. So this is the qualification. Just try to repeat something bona fide. Don't try to figure out something on your own. No, whatever you heard from the Guru Parampara, just repeat it, and this is your qualification. So everybody has a duty. And we know we have two duties. We have spiritual duties and material duties. Material duties, they are connected with our nature. Every person has a certain nature, and if we perform activities which are according to our nature, we will be naturally happy. And if we perform activities which are not according to our nature, we will be naturally unhappy. Yes. Why is that? Well, because naturally your body and your mind are pushing you in one direction, but you have to do something else. Very often people nowadays in our society, they are unhappy. Why? Because they were not systematically and scientifically engaged according to their propensities, but they were engaged according to what they decided it will be, let's say, a good job to make good money, or nicely to position in the society, but actually it may not fit their nature, and that's why they are unhappy. So in order that we be satisfied and happy, feel peaceful, we should find to do something that is close to our nature. Let's say if someone has artistic nature, well, better to do something creative, because in this way he can use this propensity and his mind feels alive. Wow, I can use this creative energy that I have. He feels satisfied. Or someone has a very scientific brain, then he has to use his scientific brain in a scientific way. If you ask him to be very creative, well, he may not be able to be very creative. Or let's say someone has very organizational brain. Well, he has to engage these propensities in organization, otherwise again, he won't be completely happy. So this is one way to find what is our duty according to our conditioned nature. Of course, our conditioned nature is temporary. Sometimes our propensities are changing to some extent or the other. So that's why ultimately we have to be engaged in our spiritual propensities according to our spiritual nature, which is connection with Krishna, connection with spiritual master, connection with the devotees. There, even if sometimes we are not completely engaged according to our nature, if we have a high spiritual realization, we will be completely happy and satisfied. Of course, in the beginning of spiritual life, it is advisable that we engage according to our nature in devotional service of Krishna. And then again, we will be very happy and satisfied. And gradually, we will develop liking for certain exact spiritual service, some spiritual activities. Like, for example, someone will like very much to cook for Krishna, or to make puja for Krishna, or to make harinam for Krishna. We will find what is the service that we really like, and we will be able to very much concentrate our mind in this service because we really like it. But gradually, when we are advancing more and more and more and more in the spiritual life, the time will come when we will develop our relationship with Krishna, and because already this relationship exists, it won't be anymore so much question of what exactly we are doing for Krishna, just because we like Krishna. Like, for example, if you have a very close friend or some of the members of your family, because you have already such a deep relationship, such a close relationship, you can do so many things for this person. You can cook for him, you can clean for him, you can review each other, your minds, share thoughts, you can go together for a walk, you can do so many things. And even if you don't really like something so much, just because of the relationship with this person, you are going to do it. So, again, when we go to this level of Krishna consciousness, then no problem. Doesn't matter what we are doing. Just the fact that we are doing it for the proper person will make us, making us extremely satisfied and happy. But in both cases, happiness in life is coming when we perform duty. When we know what is our duty and we perform our duty. If someone is living a life which is free from duty, he cannot be completely happy. In other words, if we want to say the same thing, if someone is living a life which is free from sacrifice, you are not sacrificing for anything or for any goal, for any person, you will not be satisfied. The life should be yagya, should be sacrificed for Krishna, for his devotees. And even if people are not devotees, at least they have to sacrifice for something, otherwise they won't be happy. Like the great businessman. He may be very happy at the end of the day, but he has to sacrifice. He'll forget about his breakfast, his lunch, and he'll just completely immerse his mind in thoughts about how to make money, how to expand my company, and this and that. And then at the end of the day, he'll feel happy. He has to really become fanatic of something, some idea. He has to sacrifice for this idea. That then we will be happy. So in the same way for the devotees, we should find something in Krishna consciousness that is really making us fanatics, in a good sense, fanatics. That there is something that attracts and absorbs our mind to such an extent that we want to do this thing day and night, day and night. We have many examples about this in front of our eyes, so many devotees who are fanatics on something, like let's say someone can make Harinam or Kirtan for like many hours, one after the other. He doesn't have problem, he forgets about time. Or someone is distributing books from morning till evening. Like now we were on Gita Nagari and Devamrita Maharaj was giving a nice seminar there. And he was sharing that in the beginning here, in Brooklyn, I don't know if that was the temple, maybe previous temple, but when he joined, and the standard was that devotees, they were taking their breakfast around 8:30, and 9 o'clock they were on the street. And he was saying, and we were coming back, well, we were coming back same time in the evening, 8, 9 o'clock, something like that. He was saying, generally when the malls were closing, then we were going back to the temple. And then he said, but now that was the regular schedule. Now for Friday and Saturday, we had a special schedule. What was that? Again, we were going at around 9 o'clock, and then we were distributing till around 9 in the evening. And then we were checking out where is the closest concert. Because New York, always you have something going on. And we were just getting in the car and we were driving to this place. Sometimes we were driving for 1 hour to go to this place. And then the actual Sankirtan was starting. And often we were going back to the temple around 2 o'clock at night. And then we were thinking, well, it's 2 o'clock, why to go to sleep? Let me just chant my rounds, finish my rounds. So we were finishing our rounds, going for Mangalarati, and then we were praying to the temple president, I need some sleep, can I go and take rest? And he was saying, yeah, you can, but it's good to come for Bhagavatam class. So that means, what, 3 hours maybe of sleep, something like that. And then we were taking breakfast and we were going again. And it's Saturday, great day for shopping. So we knew today it will be amazing day for Sankirtan. And then everybody was waiting for Sunday. And very often the Sankirtan leader was coming in Sunday and he was saying, okay, so who are the soft guys who want to stay back in the temple and they won't go to give out the mercy of Lord Chaitanya today? And we were all looking at each other and we were saying, okay, I'll go outside. So there was a sacrifice. And of course that's why, because of the sacrifice of all these great devotees, we have all these things. We have these facilities, these buildings and everything else. Of course the conclusion of Maharaj was, we cannot keep up in this way, because after 2 years going in this way I had such serious problems, health problems, that I had to move to BBT service. And there it was the same. My manager just caught me and said, okay, you have to read the books of Srila Prabhupada for 12 hours every day. And you don't have the right to fall asleep, okay? And Maharaj was saying, and guess what was our prasadam there? For breakfast we had sweet rice and halava. And then for lunch we had huge chunks of fried bread and sabji with huge pieces of potatoes. And I was thinking, oh my God, how I'm not going to fall asleep after this prasadam? So he said, after some days I went to my manager and I said, can you arrange someone to make just 2-3 chapatis and some steamed vegetables for me? And he looked at me very strange. And he said, what's the problem with you, Devamrita Brahmachari? You have some problem? Why you don't enjoy the prasadam? One should eat prasadam up to his neck. And then I said, I can do that, but I cannot read 12 hours a day then. So you choose which one you want me to do. Anyway, The times were such. But again, the point is that we should become fanatics of something in Krishna consciousness, and then our life will be very easy, our spiritual life will be going very easy. It won't be just a question of duty. Yes, the duty is there in spiritual life. We know there are certain things we have to do. We have to get up early in the morning, we have to chant our rounds, we have to read the books of Srila Prabhupada every day. But if we find something in Krishna consciousness that is very natural for us, when we get up in the morning, our mind will dream about this thing. Oh, when the time will come when I'm opening Bhagavatam, when I'm reading this and this pastime, or oh, when is the time coming that we are going out on Harinam, making Harinam 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours a day. So in this way it will be very spontaneous. Our Krishna conscious life will become very spontaneous. So we have to find something like this. Also another important topic that appeared in today's purport was about a relationship between the son and the father. Srila Prabhupada is saying a son's duty is not only to make the father the source of supply for all his needs, but also, when he is grown up, to render service unto him. That is the law of creation beginning from the time of Brahma. A father's duty is to bring up the son until he is grown, and when the son is grown up, it is his duty to render service unto the father. So this is our situation in spiritual life. In the beginning of our spiritual life, we're like a small child, a small baby, and we just go to our father and we just beg for mercy. Of course, we have two fathers. One is Krishna, the other one is Guru, spiritual master. So regularly we go to Guru and we start asking for give me association, give me attention, give me instructions, and then we never forget to complain also, at least a little bit. Oh, this is my problem, that is my problem. And that's very natural. And the father, of course, he likes his kids very much, so he's always ready to give them attention, to take care of them. But gradually in the spiritual life, the time is coming when we have to grow up. Yes, we have to become the grown kids. And now the duty is changing. According to this moment, the duty was we can just rely completely on the shoulders of the father, and he's always petting us, and don't worry, everything will be fine, and this and that. But then now at some point we should grow up so much that we try help the father. Now the father is expecting from us that, okay, now you're a grown up person, so take some responsibility, do something for the family. What is our family? Yes, the Hare Krishna family. So now the father is expecting something. Okay, can you do something? Can you help for the family budget? Can you bring something home? You're taking, that's fine, but now can you start bringing something home also? So this is the expectation. Gradually we will grow up in our spiritual life, and we will become responsible individuals, and we will bring something to this moment. Ramakara Maharaj, he likes to speak very often about this, that we should become individuals in Krishna consciousness, and then we have to do something about this movement. We have to find what can be our contribution. One time he was saying, we are all the time complaining. Oh, this is not good, this is not good, this problem, that problem. Well, Maharaj was saying, instead of complaining, just come and fix it. Do something about it. Why you're always waiting others to do something about it? You be the change. You try to do something. You take the responsibility. So in this way, gradually we have to become a grown-up kids, and we should be ready to do something about Srila Prabhupada, about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, spread his message all over the world. And how we can do that? Well, it's very simple. We need two things. We have to be transparent via media. We have to be pure representatives of the message. As Srila Prabhupada is saying here, there are two kinds of successions. One is spiritual succession, Guru Parampara, and the other one is genealogical succession. Well, we are part of the spiritual one, so now we have to get this spiritual message and we have to give it as it is. We should not change it according to our likings or dislikings. And Srila Prabhupada many times said, if I have any qualification, my only qualification is I am just presenting the message of Krishna as it is. I did not took out anything and I didn't add anything from myself. I'm just giving the message as it is. And this is the one qualification that we need. Then the second qualification is we have to gradually work on this externally and internally to have the appearance of a Vaishnavas, a pure Vaishnava. So gradually to develop a good qualities, good character of a Vaishnava. And then when we speak and when people see how we are acting, they'll say, okay, there is a matching between what he is speaking and what he is showing. Okay, I can trust him, I can have faith in him. And then people will be ready to surrender. If we are speaking one thing, but people are seeing that we are doing something completely different, gradually they will lose faith in us. Or if we have some good qualities, but we are speaking bogus philosophy, then again it will be a problem. Because we will become the reason for deviations. Different Vaishnava sects will start appearing. So we have to present the same philosophy, but present it with our personal example. When people see us, they have to say, wow, this person, he speaks like a Vaishnava, but he also acts, yes, and he looks like a Vaishnava. That's why the preaching of Srila Prabhupada, the preaching of the disciple of Srila Prabhupada was so potent, because they were speaking something and they were showing it with their example, and then it becomes very strong, very potent. So this is what we have to do, and if we do that, definitely there will be success. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your attentive listening. Some questions, senior devotees, if they like to add something, Ram Roy Prabhu or if not some question, do we have some important question? Or everything is clear? Nitish.
Hare Krishna Guru. I'll ask on your last point that you said that.
Just more. It's working?
Hello?
Yes. Just speak strongly. Scream on the mic.
Hare Krishna. So I will ask on your last point that you said the speak of philosophy of Vaishnava and look like a Vaishnava and act like a Vaishnava. So when they speak of philosophy of Vaishnava, how can you relate to acting like a Vaishnava? If you can elaborate on that.
If we speak as a Vaishnava, but how can we act as a Vaishnava?
So other people can notice and get the transcendental vibration from us. What that match in there?
Well, a Vaishnava, there are many qualities of Vaishnava. There are 26 important qualities described by the Acharyas that the Vaishnava gradually should manifest. But some of them which are very important for us, we can mention. Like one very important quality of a Vaishnava is a loyal personality. If one time he got in contact with someone who is giving him mercy, like example with father was given here, he will never, what is the English word? Act against this person later. Like for example, your father is taking care whole life of you, and at some point you are saying, no, I don't want to see him anymore. This is not correct. A Vaishnava is not doing this. Okay, some tension may be there, but that's like problems in the family. You just try to work it out, especially if it's about senior devotee, and especially if it's a devotee who took care of you. So he gave you mercy, he invested mercy in you, and at some point you say, I don't want to have anything to do with him. That's not proper attitude of a Vaishnava. Even if there is some misunderstanding, a Vaishnava will keep proper Vaishnava etiquette of respect, proper conduct of action. So loyalty is very important quality. Generally, Vaishnavas are meek and humble personalities, especially when they deal with other Vaishnavas. Sometimes their service may require some also strong side, and if so, they can manifest such a strong side of their character to do their service. Let's say if someone is protecting others, or I don't know, someone is a lawyer or something like that, sometimes you have to be a little bit harsh. But in their relationship with the other Vaishnavas are very meek and humble. Trinadapi sunichana taror ivasa hishnuna amanina manadena. Vaishnavas, they never try to bring attention to themselves. Rather, they always try to give the credit to someone else, to the other Vaishnavas, to their guru, to Krishna. If someone is glorifying them, they never say, yeah, at the end someone is appreciating me, thank you very much. No, this is not a Vaishnava. Vaishnava is always giving the credit for all his success to previous acharyas, to his authorities. He will never take the benefit for himself. Also, another very important quality of a Vaishnava, Gaur Govinda Maharaj is speaking about this very often, is that Vaishnava is very straightforward, and he is simple. He is not crooked. He is not duplicitous. It's not that externally he is acting in one way with someone, but internally he is thinking something completely different. No, Vaishnava is not doing this. Vaishnava, he is honest and straightforward and simple. Whatever he is thinking, he is ready to share with others. This is also an important quality of Vaishnava. So like that, there are many qualities, we can read about them, but these are very, very important. Also, apart from these, when it comes to our beginning training in Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that the two most important qualities for, or three, we can say, most important qualities for a brahmachari to develop is, first one is following authority. He should always be loyal to his authorities. And then the other two qualities are, he should be self-controlled and he should be yeah, like he should be very kind. Means he should be always ready to listen to the problems of the others, if possible, help them. These are very important qualities. And for the training of the ladies, Srila Prabhupada is saying the most important quality is chastity. They should be chaste. So these are also other important qualities of the Vaishnavas. Is that okay?
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Something else? If not, thank you very much for your kind attention. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande.